We begin in Southern Africa. Zimbabwe's top general warned on Monday that the military would not hesitate to step in to end purges against former liberation war fighters in President Robert Mugabe's ruling party. Now, this comes after firing last week of Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa. General Constantino Chiwenga, commander of Zimbabwe Defence Forces and a political ally of Mnangagwa, who was also expelled from the ruling ZANU-PF, said instability in the party was causing anxiety in Zimbabwe. Chiwenga's statement, read out at a news conference packed with army top brass, comes at a time of deepening rift within ZANU-PF over who will eventually lead the party after the 93-year-old Mugabe goes. Now, Chiwenga said ZANU-PF had been hijacked by people who did not fight in the 1970s liberation war. A clear shot at G40 wing and Grace Mugabe, the president's wife, who is vocal critic of Mnangagwa. Now, for more on the unfolding events in Zimbabwe, I'm joined in studio by Blessing Zulu, Zimbabwe Service Reporter. Blessing, welcome back.
Thank you, Vincent.
So soon, right?
My pleasure.
Now, first, how serious is that threat by General Constantine and others being taken in Zimbabwe?
It's being taken very seriously, and the situation in Harare at the moment is very tense, as many Zimbabweans are reporting that they've sighted army tanks moving from Inkomo Barracks, which is the mechanized division of the army, going into the capital city. Of course, there are various reports, conflicting reports on why the army has left its barracks. Some are saying that it might be a coup, and others are saying that President Robert Mugabe might be wanting to flex his muscle and also arrest General Chiwenga.
But we have mentioned that the general wasn't just alone, but there were others, very senior military guys with him. Has anything like this ever been witnessed in Zimbabwe?
This has never happened. Usually, the army, first it was the former army general, now late, General Zvinawashe, Vitalis Zvinawashe, who had a similar press conference, but then he was attacking the opposition leader, Morgan Tsvangirai. He's saying that no one without liberation credentials can rule Zimbabwe. But this is unprecedented for the army to openly challenge Mr. Mugabe like this.
And actually mentioning the liberation credentials, of course, Grace Mugabe does not have those credentials. How strong is the G40 team, which is, of course, it looks like it has the support of Grace Mugabe?
It's very interesting in that, for example, the Minister of Defense, who is supporting G40, and some are saying he might actually be one of the persons who might succeed President Robert Mugabe. That is Dr. Sidney Sekaramai. He's on the G40 side. But the majority of the army, especially the top brass, they support the ousted Emmerson Mnangagwa because they were comrades during the liberation war in the 1970s.
Yes, and so these are men who feel slighted by a younger lady who probably they see as not having gone through what they went through. Is it also perhaps a male-female thing, or is it just purely the whole question of the liberation movement and the dignity of the men who participated in that?
I think, I've had several interviews with the liberation war veterans. They feel that they are being purged from the ruling party. Remember, it's not only Mnangagwa who was ousted by President Robert Mugabe. In 2014, it was also another Vice President, Joyce Mujuru, a liberation war icon, one of the very first few women generals during the liberation war. She was kicked out together with more than 180 people. Now they want to purge another 100 with Mnangagwa, the majority of them who are war veterans. So they feel, the war veterans are saying, this is our party. We are being kicked out by the young Turks.
Well, there is certainly a lot that we're going to witness in the coming days. Thanks a lot to Zulu.
My pleasure.
Blessing for joining us today for some insights. Well, that's Blessing Zulu, who is VOA's Zimbabwe Service Reporter.